everybody. Thank you. So good morning, everyone. My name is Carmela Lamigo. I am one of the provincial attachment coordinators with the Health Connect Registry team at HealthLink BC. I will be presenting the demo today. As usual, this demo is being recorded, so whether a colleague was unable to attend or for your own future reference, this recording will be added to the user guide Discovery Workshop Demo Recordings, which is available on the Attachment Interface Knowledge Library. Please note that today's demo will go over a fair amount of details. By no means do we expect you to memorize it all. However, we wanted to make sure we highlight some key changes and information. To start things off, we are here in the training or TRN environment as indicated by the orange banner and this label right up here. We are on the home page. This is the main landing page once you log in. The main navigation menu drop-down arrow is right here to navigate to other areas of the attachment interface. On the right side, we have helpful links, including the BC Health Geographies portal, which contains information on health authorities and community health service areas. And below it here is the Health Connect Registry public-facing website, which is a link that you are able to share with patients, providers, and clinic staff. In the center, we have the Attachment Coordinator dashboard, which provides key information at a glance. It is important to mention that this dashboard does not refresh automatically, nor does it refresh with the web page. To ensure the most up-to-date information is displayed, the dashboard must be manually refreshed from this button on the top right. If you use this dashboard as part of your daily workflow, we highly recommend selecting Open. This opens the dashboard in a separate tab, which makes it much easier and more convenient to refer to the dashboard as you navigate to other areas of the attachment interface. Going to close this here. Here we are returning to the home page. If we scroll down past the dashboard, we will come up to announcements. Announcements notify users of upcoming downtimes as well as detailing new features as they are introduced to the attachment interface. Next, we will go over the Knowledge Library. The Knowledge Library has a full catalog of user guides with screenshots and step-by-step instructions. To navigate to the Knowledge Library, click the drop-down arrow for the main navigation menu up here. Select Knowledge. As you can see, the view does default to recently viewed. If you are unsure, all user guides can be found on the list for published articles. To navigate within the Knowledge Library, select this drop-down menu here. Scroll down to Published Articles, and you'll be able to view these. If you are unsure which user guide contains the content you are looking for, use the global search bar at the top of the page. First, click the search bar. Then, in this secondary menu, click the drop-down arrow again to locate knowledge, and then type in the key term or phrase that you are looking for. In this example, let's say we're looking for the Discovery Workshop demo recordings, so I will type in Discovery Workshop, and you'll see the article does pre-populate here. If for whatever reason what you're looking for does not populate, you can either hit Enter or select Show More Results for Discovery Workshop, and results will then populate in a results table such as this. And just to reiterate, demo recordings are uploaded into this article. Typically, the latest recording will be available within a week or so of the date of the Discovery Workshop. On the live site, the published articles will also show attachment coordinators user guides that are applicable to provider and clinic staff who use the panel registry. You would be able to distinguish those from the Health Connect registry ones at a glance, as the provider ones will show a description of PAS panel registry user guide. Before I move on, I wanted to show you one more thing. In order to make something like published articles your default view, just click this pushpin icon here. And the next time that you navigate to the knowledge library, this should be the view that comes up for you. Now we are moving on to our review of new features launched to the attachment interface. Just bear with me as I switch screens up here. There we go. So to improve data accuracy and ensure a consistent approach, a few changes have been made to how case status operates. Note that these should not significantly impact your workflow, but we wanted to highlight these changes as you move patients through the attachment process in your communities. First change is if the status is already attached, it cannot be changed. If the status is inactive, it also cannot be changed. If required, a new case should be created and the original effective start date can be honored. As part of our most recent release, the following changes were launched to reports. 2 have been renamed to improve readability. The word cases has been removed from pending clinic review more than 14 days, and cases HCPF changes past 30 days has been renamed to unsuccessful attachments past 30 days. 2 new reports have also been created, which we will review later in our demo. The first being intra-clinic case transfer, then pending cases by practitioner. We also wanted to call out that several reports have been updated to include previously launched fields, including sent to clinic and available services. As Ophir mentioned last workshop, available services refers to services available through the clinic. To communicate this more clearly and strictly within reports, available services is labeled as clinic services. Furthermore, based on attachment coordinator feedback, the order of columns and applicable filters has also been updated on multiple reports. To summarize, a number of improvements were made to reports, including the introduction of 2 new ones that will be demoed. For a detailed list of updates, please refer to the release announcement found on the homepage. We have also heard from attachment coordinators that a refresher on pending status and best practices would be helpful. I'm going to begin by giving a high-level overview of the attachment process. First, ACs use the Send Attachment Request feature to send a potential attachment list to a provider. This changes the case from active to pending clinic review. Once that has been sent, the clinic email address will receive a notification that there are potential attachments to review. Providers then have 2 weeks to review these potential attachments before attachment coordinators should follow up. Once a provider has reviewed potential attachment and wants to see this patient for an intake appointment, the provider will accept this patient for intake on the panel registry, which will update the patient's case status to pending clinic intake. Providers then have 2 months to complete this intake process before attachment coordinators should follow up. If at any time the provider feels this potential attachment is not a match, they can decline the attachment, which will update the patient's Health Connect registry case to active. Again, the ideal flow starts with the AC using the Send Attachment Request function to provide a potential attachment list to the provider. Then the provider should action the list and proceed to intake within 2 weeks before follow-up is needed by the attachment coordinator. Lastly, the provider should confirm within 2 months whether attachment was successful before additional follow-up is required. This takes us to the pending status refresher. The first section I would like to review is at which point patients receive an email about their potential match. When a patient is sent to a provider with the status of pending clinic review, the patient does not receive a notification. However, once a patient is moved by the provider or their clinic staff to pending clinic intake, the system automatically sends the prepare for intake email to the patient's case contact email address. Note that if this status change is made within the attachment interface, no email is sent. Important. While a patient is pending, they are not considered for attachment elsewhere. This is why it is so important to continually follow up with providers or their clinic on pending patients. It may be helpful to reiterate to providers that patients are not considered for a match elsewhere while the patient is in pending. Feedback from a number of attachment coordinators is that they have had the most success with setting timeline expectations early on with providers. Again, that's 2 weeks, that's a pending clinic review, action within 2 weeks, and 2 months for pending clinic intake, as well as ensuring that any potential attachment lists sent are of a size that the provider can reasonably action within these timeframes. The following resources are available to support attachment coordinator review of pending cases, as well as information on when to follow up with providers. Most of these are reports, each of which contain helpful details such as hyperlinks to directly access the healthcare practitioner facility page to log interactions or send attachments. Reports are also grouped or filtered to show you the most relevant information. First up are the 2 new reports, intraclinic case transfer and pending cases by practitioner. I am just going to navigate back to the training environment. There we go. So here we are back in the training environment, again with the orange banner. The new reports can be accessed by clicking into the main navigation menu. Once again, that is up here, this drop-down arrow. We'll go over to reports. On the left-hand side, we'll navigate to shared with me, and then to HLBC PCN attachment coordinator reports. This folder does show all reports that are not found on the attachment coordinator dashboard. If this list is not already sorted alphabetically, you can do so by clicking on the name column here. And if I scroll down, we will see intraclinic case transfer. I'm just going to click on the hyperlink here in order to open the report. What this report shows us are any cases transferred within the same clinic, meaning provider A had a patient in pending, possibly figured this patient may be a better fit with a different provider at the same clinic, and has transferred that case over to provider B. The key columns here will be old value and new value, which indicate which healthcare practitioner facility was changed, or how that was changed rather. Edited by to show who made the change, and case number to indicate the affected case. In the first row here, for this example, we can see that case number 1235258 was transferred from Jennifer Bond at Cena Pharmacy and Health Med Home to Amra Hayden at the same clinic. Now we can move on to the second new report, pending cases by practitioner. Going to navigate back to reports. And right under here, you'll see pending cases by practitioner. This report shows all pending patients in your community grouped by the primary care provider. To see more info around which cases are in each status or even through the total, I can go over to that column. You'll see a little highlight box comes up here. Once I click into it, it will load a table below where you can see more detailed information about these specific 6 patients in clinic review, including the names and relevant details, including sent to provider and date sent to clinic. Just a reminder, as we are in the training environment, all data shown is fictional. If for whatever reason you run into an issue and are unable to pull up this specific table, you can also click into the provider's name for this checkbox here. You can select drill down and just click apply. And it will do a similar thing to pull up the same list. And again, with this, we can still see the specific dates of sent to provider and sent to clinic. Back to the slideshow here, one other report found on the attachment coordinator dashboard is titled Pending Clinic Review More Than 14 Days. As named, it shows cases in pending clinic review over 2 weeks, which indicates that follow-up with the provider may be necessary. Lastly, another great resource is the regular emails that attachment coordinators receive from the provincial attachment coordinators regarding Action New Capacity. This email, based on the practitioner's accepting new patient report, indicates which providers should be contacted about sending a potential attachment list. Additionally, if the listed provider has patients in pending that require follow-up, PACS will also include it as an action item. We strongly encourage attachment coordinators to utilize these reports and regular emails to support the attachment work in your regions. Reaching out to providers as they show capacity, as well as following up on pending lists, demonstrates our commitment to supporting patient attachment throughout the province. With that, I will now open up the floor to any questions.
Great.